Good night, everyone. Welcome again. Welcome to the Sports FRENZZYY podcast. I'm your host, Levon. With me tonight, I have Ano Cousins, of the prodigal son. He has been out for a while. I know that a lot of you guys missed this man, and I'm talking about none other than the doctor himself, Shakes. Welcome once again, bro. What got?
I'm good. Good night, peeps. Happy to be back. Even
Wonderful.
though I was never gone because I was always in the comment section.
Definitely. And then we have the voice. But the voice seems like he's not really the voice of late. Seems to be having some cold and all sort of nonsense. But the voice, what going? You think good?
And oh God, man, I'm blessed.
All right. So we're here tonight to discuss some football action. As you know, we saw some UEFA Champions League action earlier today, and also our Premier League games. But right now, our focus will be on that UEFA Champions League game that took place today. So first up, the big one, or I should say, let's start out with the smaller one, since as there'll be a lot more to discuss in the bigger one. So we saw Man City doing what we expected Man City to do. They got a soft team as they normally do as well, and that was Sporting, and they did what they had to do. They beat up this side, and this is what they do when they get small teams like these in the Champions League. And that tie is done and dusted. Bernardo Silva was unsung. Raheem Sterling once again was on the score sheet. De Bruyne are good. Phil Foden on the score sheet as well. And also Riyad Mahrez. This man has been scoring a plenty in the Champions League. Shakes, when you see this team and you see Man City, could this really be a season for them based on how they're playing?
Well, Man City. Man City starts as favorites in the Champions League. And we have been saying that since about 2017, if memory serves me right. So for 5 seasons running, going 6, they've started as favorites. As you said, and rightfully so, they have always gotten a very easy team when it comes on to the round of 16. Don't know why, Some people would say luck of the draw, right? But you play who is in front of you. And you ask if this is their year. It's hard to judge based on the round of 16, right? Because they usually do well in the round of 16. I think it's from the quarterfinals. Going to the finals is where they can face some hiccup. So they got a team in Sporting Lisbon today. Yes, Sporting they did like a small huff and puff, but guess what? The quality that Man City had in that game was just too much. For those who watched the game, they would definitely agree. Man City, they had a little bit of defensive lapses, but they weren't playing with their right back in Kyle Walker, John Stones filled in, right? I don't know. Gundogan has seemed to have gone off the boil a little bit, right? I'm not really going to count his goal scoring exploits because that's not really his main job, right? But even in terms of impact in the game, that is a little concerning in terms of for the team. But otherwise, Sterling is in hot red form. The voice spoke about him. He actually bigged him up on the last podcast. And I was even saying that, for people to really get up and compare Raheem Sterling, or should I let me do it the other way, to compare Leon Bailey to Raheem Sterling was madness, right? Because listen, for all the shaky things that Sterling has had in terms of the moments when it comes on to the quarterfinals, semifinals, and even the finals, right? But more so semi and the quarterfinals. Even though he has had those glaring misses, he has always been productive, and he has been a consistent performer, even when he was sulking, right? But listen, all players sulk, right, from time to time. That's only human,
I was
right?
just about to say it now because you remember Bernardo Silva last season, he was the one that was sulking. Now look at the man.
Yeah.
And then you bring Sterling into the conversation. No, look at Sterling.
Yeah, as in, those things will happen, especially when you have so much quality in a team, right? You want to be playing week in, week out, especially when you're winning. Who doesn't want to play when you're winning, right? You don't want to sit down on the bench when your team is consistently doing well. So yeah, it was just a wipeout basically. Complete domination as it pertains to the first half. Second half was just more of the same. As I said, Sporting did a little small huffing and puffing, but nothing that really threatened Ederson. I can't really remember him making any significant save in the match. It was all Man City attacking. As I said, Sterling, his goal was brilliant. Bernardo Silva, as you mentioned a while ago, his goal was excellent also, but Sterling's goal took it for me. Why? Because we are not accustomed to seeing him score that type of goal, right? Maybe if that was Kevin De Bruyne, I would have said, oh well, I expect that of him. But Sterling's goal was a peach today. Yeah. And even during his celebration, you could see that he said, yeah, this is fire. Right? Because it's probably unexpected even from him. But as I said, he's in excellent form.
And guess what, Shakes? I'm glad that you just big him up now because Kim said it last night best that Sterling has won the most penalty in the Premier League, and had it been Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, you wouldn't have heard the end of the story. So for a guy like that to be performing consistently, you have to give him his props. And this is where I'm going to bring Kems in because Raheem Sterling, a keeper mentioning, 27 years old and has scored over 100 goals in the Premier League. Now he's also doing it in Champions League. As Sheikh said, yes, he has had those moments where he misses at some crucial moment for Man City in the Champions League. But otherwise than that, he has been a bargain for City. And he is easily top 10 best winger in the world right now. Go ahead, Kems.
Well, you said that he has had some glaring misses. I want you to look at me and tell me which footballer out there, haven't had glaring misses. But again, I spoke about Sterling last night. I spoke about him, I think it was last week as well. The man is playing exceptional football. When those persons out there, those Facebook coaches who always believe they know football and Sterling make a one mistake. I see a guy, I don't know if he's ever in this comment section. But what the guy name what he did in the comment section is that Tyrese in name?
Yeah.
Tyrese, yeah.
Yes. He's a City fan, right?
Correct.
Yes. He was the first one to sit on Facebook, post up Sterling picture. Please, someone take him out of my side. Please, someone get rid of him. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of this baller. And those fickle fans who don't really understand the ball game and everything. But I'm telling you, man, when Sterling left Liverpool fans never know this is what Sterling would have become. They had no idea that, man, we're going to, Sterling is going to be, this great of a footballer. And obviously, there's always things they can improve on. And, I'm sure, Pep is working with him. Pep is working on him. And, it just really wonders. And it just really make you happy as an English supporter, to see him doing it for both club and country. Because obviously, we can't forget, what he has done in the Euros.
He is the man for England right now. No Hurricane. We don't want to hear about Hurricane. Sterling is the man for England.
Yeah, but they don't want to give the Jamaican any props. The guy from Marvel, but we'll definitely have to big up Sterling and I just hope him continue. And boy, I picked PSG to win the Champions League, so I don't know how City will win it, but we'll definitely see. I wouldn't be mad if Sterling wins because I think that is probably the only thing that is missing from his little cap. Don't tell me about a blasted Club World Cup neither, because I don't care about that. But
Can I add one thing to what Kim's just said, Levon? Because he said they don't want to give the Jamaican praise. If Raheem Sterling were white, the narrative would be different.
absolutely.
I'll admit that. Huh?
Absolutely.
Even
No,
if it
no,
was
no, no,
Jamaican
no.
and applied
No, man, no. Take out the Jamaican out of it, right? If you were a white Englishman with those numbers year after year, just think about it. Look how much praise Marcus Rashford has gotten, and he's a brain dead footballer, right? He's brain dead when it comes onto the football field, but he's good in terms of charity. Look at how much praise he gets. So just imagine if Sterling were a white Englishman with all them numbers and trophies behind him.
Mhm. Yep.
And this is where I'm going to pick up some people comment section. So I see Michelle jump out early and said good night. Also say Albert pick up himself. He said the voice got annihilated Sunday. Um, Kenra Rose saying that City here. Jermaine Watson pick up himself. I said Latoya good night. Eranda, I'll get to that. I see Axe are coming to shakes, but we'll get to that. And here's Kenra again saying Monaco wasn't a easy team in 2017, around of 16. Jermaine saying that Man City playing like the Bayern Munich team in previous years. And as I mentioned a while ago, big up yourself again, Fresh God, and big up to all the rest of people in the comment section, Adrian Nichols, and all of you guys. Ensure that keep on spamming the comment section and tell people to ensure that they like the thing. All right, so here's what we're going to do now. When we look at this Man City team that played today, we're going to grade them out of 10 based on world standard right now. Currently, footballers that are playing, and let's see how it goes. So first up, Edison, when you're comparing to the rest of keepers in the world, and 10 being the highest, that's where we're going to grade them. So, Shakes, how much would you grade Edison out of 10 based on the keepers that are currently keeping in the world?
I'll give him an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. As you were discussing before on the show, he's good in terms of as a sweeper keeper. But I don't know if he's necessarily at a 9 or a 10 out of 10 keeper when it comes on to shot stopping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Kems, what grade would you give him?
Um,
When you factor in that the likes of Naya, Oblak and those guys has fallen off this season because Oblak has been awful this season.
mhm. um, I'll give him around 8.5. I have the same concern that Shakes have about him being a shot stopper.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, as Shake said, when you come on to that sweeper keeper style, I think there's nobody better than him. I think Naya was a good one. I don't know what he's up to these days, but I think I'll give Edison an 8.5.
Okay. Now we're going to look at Joao Cancelo. This man plays left back, right back, center, mid, central defensive, mid, right wing, all position on the field that this man plays. So I'm going to start with you on this one, Kims, because you know that people are comparing him to Trent the other day. But when I really look at this guy, how much would you rate Joao Cancelo?
Um, I'll probably give him the same grade. I'll probably give him a 8. Are we talking about this season or the totality?
This season, current world standard.
Yeah. Uh, I'll give him an 8.5. I think there are certain aspects to his game that definitely can improve. And a lot of persons say that he's the best. Probably he's the second best. Probably he's the third best. Who knows? But I think right now, obviously, he has been extremely solid. For Manchester City, and as you mentioned, he's been one of those versatile players. Can play this side, can play that side, and he's done a great job. I think both offensively and defensively, he has been good. But I think there are certain aspects to his game that can be improved. So I'll give him the same grade.
Okay, Shake, what say you?
This guy's Edison
Uh,
5, brother. Wow.
is for attention, man. For Cancelo, you see, for those who knew how he was playing at Juventus,
And Valencia.
yeah, but even more Juventus and where he is now at Man City, based on his versatility, right? He has defensive weak points, right? But he's so good going forward. And for all of the people that love an offensive wing back, because yeah, you're right, he plays right and left, and he is equally adept on either side. So I would give him an 8, as you said, by world standards.
Yep.
He still has room for growth.
Because once I world
Plus, he's
standard right now,
young.
if we're being totally honest, Trent is the man right now in terms of right back in the world, in terms of the standard that people want to be. Trent is the hallmark for everybody right now. But
Going forward,
right back,
Yeah, I would say that in terms of attacking, I don't really know about defensively.
No, he's not the best defensively, but in terms of output as a right back, Trent would be the one.
All right. You said that, Levon. If somebody were to toss up Trent, Hakimi, Cancelo, based on the teams that they play in and how they've been playing over the last season and a half, like people would pick each player for different reasons.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but personally for me, I would have went with Trent. Reason being, again, the numbers and the output that this man has given, you have to factor in that man. Hakimi has been doing well, yes, but when you look at what he was at when it comes down to Borussia Dortmund, he hasn't reached that height as yet for PSG. So yeah. But next up, Emerick Laporte. How do you rate him, Shades?
Laporte, solid defender. You see, it's hard to grade the centre backs at City because they possess the ball so much, right? So sometimes you give them too high a rating. I even said that about Ruben Diaz. I don't want anybody to think that I don't rate Ruben Diaz, and yeah, we're going to talk about him. But for me, because City possess the ball so much, the centre backs actually complement the system that Pep
Facts.
employs, right? Because remember, Laporte was out, like warming the bench at one point. Stones was warming the bench at one point, right? And he can just switch their mindset, get them in the team, and it's like a seamless transition. So I would have to give him a 7. I'm not going to overrate him. As I said, he complements the system.
Facts. How much would you give him now, Kims?
Laporte,
Yeah.
as we talk about world standard, I give him a 6.5. A 6.5.
Okay.
I'm not overly impressed by him. Obviously, he's a guy that can play football, and I think you know, compared to all the defenders, in the Premier League right now, I think he's probably one of the best up there, especially since I see people have Maguire ranked up there as well. So if Maguire ranked up there, then Laporte must be up there as well. But definitely, as Sheikh say, it's very hard to give these players some rankings because we have not seen them in, what would you call it now, in vulnerable situations. We're not able to judge them in some vulnerable situations to see, how they take themselves out of those kind of situations because, as Sheikh say, City possess the ball extremely well. So, but for me, based off what I see, it seems like a 6.57 defender to me, not more, not less.
Okay. And I'm going to go back to Shakes because you just mentioned about vulnerability in certain situations, and we have seen this fella in those situations. He hasn't impressed. And we're talking about Ruben Diaz again, not taking away anything at all from the guy because he has been he has been a staple since he has been at City. I mean, as I said, he was good at Benfica. I've been beckoning for this guy for a long while, but we have seen him at City, and as Miguel Maniting says here, City make the centre back them look world class. That is facts based on how they play. They do
Yeah.
so. We have
Yep.
seen Ruben Diaz for Portugal. We're judging
Portugal.
off
Yep.
that and what he has done at City, and tell me what grade do they give him, Shakes?
So I gave Laporte a 7, so I have to give Diaz a 8, right? As I said from last night, when Tyrese kept on going at me in terms of why I was saying what I was saying about Diaz, it's simple. The system, because when he goes to the Portuguese national team, he's ordinary.
Facts.
The older guys have a greater presence, and I'm not talking because they've been in the dressing room for a long time. If you follow Portugal, I follow Portugal. Yeah, I'm Brazilian, but
Pepe,
my player is
Wesley
Ronaldo,
Font.
so clearly I'm going to follow Portugal, right? And when you see him in the team, he's very ordinary. The mistakes that he makes for that Portuguese team, there's no way I could rate him higher. But guess what? He plays most of his football at the club level, right?
Mhm.
So clearly you have to give him his better grade in that area. So I have to give him an 8. But as I said, the system again makes him look better than he really is.
Okay. Kim, so what would you give him?
Um, I give him a solid 8 as well. Definitely. This is a centre back that I like, and obviously, let's take away from the international side, but those for club level.
Hmm.
This is a man that is willing to. That man will put him teeth to stop you from score. Anything when can, I like defenders like those. Sometimes, the reason why I don't get a higher grade for me, I think sometimes him like to throw himself on the floor too quickly. And somebody an attacker who is smart, with chopping mortar and pants, basically. Because when
That's what they've done it before. I think I've
yeah,
seen around three to
of
four times
course,
last season
of
where
course,
they just wait
yes,
until he just went down to
mm,
just
And
chop him
Kim,
up in
yes,
school.
he's not fast enough, Kims. He's not the
mm-mm,
fastest
So he
defender.
uses
mm-mm,
this.
yep.
Yep.
So the thing is when like when you play a ball and you raise and like you fake and then when him slide down, he just chop him out and pants and so that aspect for me, I would have been more comfortable if he's a man would stay on him feet a lot. But as I said, ruthless defender, that man will put him teeth, him head, him fingernail, anything to stop you from scoring. He will do that. And I believe he's a defender that comes prepared to play, and I think he has a very high IQ of the game. He can read the game very well. As you guys say, not very fast at all. When you're not very fast, if you don't read the game well, you end up like a Harry Maguire and you look stupid week in, week out. So I give him a solid 8 for sure.
And what I'll also give him as well is that this is a guy that also contributed goals and assists. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, he's good defensively, but he also had a lot when it comes on to the attacking side of City. But yes, Adrian Cos is saying that he's no Vidic though. Come on, we know this. Vidic is the man that will fling every possible thing he can to
Yes.
prevent you from
Yeah.
scoring because as that man said, you can stop a mistake from happening, but once a goal
Mm-hmm.
score, you can't change that back. So yeah, these are my type of defenders. I like them robust and rugged. And the thing with DS though is that he has a high ceiling. He's still 24 years old, so he still can improve a lot. So let's see. Here's Michelle saying that he's giving DS a 7.5. Country performance dragged down his score for me. Team up here was saying that he's giving him a solid 8. Now we look at John Gravel. Oh my bad, I mean John Stones. What sort of grade would they give him, Shakes? You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. John Stones. I can't give him more than a 5.5. Um, why I say this? Because it's simple. John Stones has been playing in the Premier League for a very long time, right? And he has basically let two people come into the team and supplant him. Somebody coming from Portugal and Laporte coming from the Spanish league, right? And you were a staple in the Premier League as a youngster coming up. So for me, yeah, there you go. He has not improved. It's as simple as that. I was about to say that from his Everton days and where you really thought that this man was actually going to be the next Rio Ferdinand, John Terry-esque in terms of his play and all. He knew how to pass the ball in terms of which is why Pep even went for him, right?
Mhm.
But for me, he has not transitioned, no, not at all, right? So he's just a covering defender, if you want to say it. So he can cover at centre back if somebody is injured, and as you can see today, he was at right back filling in for Kyle Walker.
Okay.
So yeah, no more than a 5.5.
All right. But Kevin, so what would you have given him?
Well, Shakes is currently a doctor. I am working to be a doctor. I'm not a doctor yet. So at this point, my grading scale will probably be a little bit more lenient than Shakes' one. So I could give him a 6.3. If you ask me for England, definitely the scale
So
will
you
be a
just say
lot higher for
6.3?
England.
Yeah, man. For
Yeah,
England, what he does for
but
England, bring it up.
yeah.
But I
Well, let
said
me tell you,
6.5.
you did.
No, it's a 5.5, man.
It's a five
Oh,
point
it's
five.
5. Oh, sorry, same thing.
So listen, look, when you look at John Stones, for me again, when you're talking about world class defenders, for me, he's a little bit too soft. Remind me too much of Lindelof around here. Too slight, too fragile, too you know, So you want. For me, this is how I want my defenders. I want an attacker thinking twice to take my defender down on the flat because he knows a boy I'm less boss. He's going to be some serious troubles over there. You might gonna be rubbing him shin or something. You see, John Stones, you're happy to go down the wing. You're happy to go in those 50-50 challenges because you know, say 90% of the chances you are going to win those challenges. When he came from the Euros, and I think he had an outstanding Euros. When he came from the Euros, he just couldn't get in at the Man City side. And I said, okay, them get a normal 2 week or a week and a half break before
Mhm.
you jump back in on the side. And he just couldn't get back in the team. No matter what he did, he just couldn't get back in the team. And I'm wondering, is Pep seeing something in training that, probably we are not seeing, but I think he needs to be a little bit more rough. Obviously, I like how he can play out from the back and dribble out. I like that about him. But again, your primary job is to defend. And I can't trust you at a high level to defend my goals. I have to give you a 6.3 for that.
Like, so the man just drew for your favorite saying when it comes on to Lindelof. All Lindelof does at time is this.
Yep. But if you realize, Levon, you see, Kems is talking about how he likes his defenders. John Stone clothes always clean.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't have that.
Always,
A pretty boy.
always clean.
You'd have to wonder if him really play the match or if him just sit down for the bench.
Yeah,
Uniform
It's a
always
pretty
clean. Him
boy.
can wear the same uniform tomorrow and play
yeah.
another game because it clean. No, sir.
As
You see?
Kem said, and he's right, Diaz is always on the ground, so his clothes is always dirty. But
Mm-hmm.
Stone's clothes, spick and span.
All right, so here's Demo saying that what Stones has improved massively, especially last season. His agent saying that him look better at City in my opinion, and he's giving him a 7. Demo is also giving a 7. Michelle is giving him a 6. And also here's Michelle saying that let's face it, Pep system and structure make some of these ballers look good. And here's Emerald saying that Stones is like a decent squad player. But yeah, some friend are saying to you guys, what would you say about VVD? Because I guess he's trying to parallel that VVD clothes is always clean as well.
All right. Can I pull on one Manchester United former player?
Sure.
If I were to throw out a name, John O'Shea, right? John Stones, people really go and rate John Stones higher than John O'Shea. But what do they really do different as a player?
Damn, and I like John O'Shea is a person when I see him on the team sheet, man, he used to hurt me. But now I say he's a bad defender, but sometimes the man do something where they have to
But
scratch
he
your
was
head and
very
you have.
effective at what he did.
That's what I was going to say. Now that
Mm,
Kems,
And
here
and
what?
and that, and that was what and it was because he was playing with players that were really good. So
mm-hmm.
sometimes it's the system.
Yep,
But
Because
would
absolutely.
you really would you really rate John Stones highly? Not John Stones, John O'Shea highly? No.
I get what you're saying, but it's just a case with John O'Shea. That was basically a utility man for United. Played as centre back, played that as a right back, left back, wherever you
Yep.
wanted him, he could do a job. There's Dale Francis, who's a City fan, saying that considering how it's the system that makes some of these players look as good as how they actually seem, I do find it interesting when persons say that City is filled with talent slash world class players. But
This is that is
sure, man.
that is why for me, Pep for me will always be the goat, for coaching because again, Um, you can talk about that man can win Champions League with City or could win Champions League with Bayern. You can say that all you want, but what this man has done, with some big rocks. You put John Stones right now in a put him in one of those teams, and that man look like a clappy out there. Put some of these ballers them have out there, and they don't look as good as they look. But um, I'm hoping that for John Stones in particular, because obviously we have the World Cup coming up, and wanted to come home One last time we're going on that coming home trip. So I want John Stones to be ready and fit because I don't think the fridge will be ready for the World Cup at all. He's not in top shape at all.
But Kems, here what though, Kems,
Mm.
don't think that Shakes and I are just going to let your comment just blow through just like that. You just mentioned about Pep being the goat of coaching. Where? Since when? How? It's when you talk about a man that makes average player look good. Look no further than the man that coach your former team. That
Exactly.
man is a goat when it comes down to that.
Who that?
Sir
Sir
Alex.
Ali.
Oh, yeah, man, definitely. Sir Alex, them man they win the league with damn West Brown, brother.
No, brother,
Them,
you call West Brown
Tom Cleverly,
Tom
I mean.
Cleverly. Where are you going?
Tom Cleverly, boss.
uh,
Tom Cleverly. Federico Macheda.
freaking Anderson.
Man, let's not start. But still, I don't. We have had this discussion before, and you know that it's not going to stop because you said Pep, I
Yeah.
said Klopp is the better for me. So we're
Mm,
not going to have that never stop debate. So let's go on.
mm.
Bernardo Silva now. What sort of grade would they give him, Shakes? The season he has been having and worse.
Based on the season, I would say world standard because that's what you're asking. So he'll be right up there in terms of with an attacking midfielder slash winger, if you want to say it, slash false nine.
Box to
This
whatever
season
that
slash left forward slash right forward.
slash.
Based on consistency, you have to give him a 8.5 for consistency, right? He has definitely been doing it. He must say 9, yeah. So 8.5.
Okay.
But he has been really, really consistent.
Kims, what would you give him?
Um, right now, I'll give him a 9.2 right now. Yes, man, he has been sensational this season. He has been, he can be arguably City's best player. Depending, some person might say A, some person might say B. But I think, this season, what he has been doing with the football, especially from a goal scoring standpoint. Remember, everybody kept on saying, hey, City needs a number nine, City needs a number nine, City needs somebody to score goals, and, obviously there's been a collective, who have scored the goals, but, Bernardo for me has stood out well.
Staple.
Um, and trust me, that man has been the glue to me, for Manchester City. So I'll give him a 9.2.
We should have said, Kims, please stop with the 3 and 2.
Boss, what you mean? It's only 90 and 80 and 70, you know what? No, man.
I guess some people are saying that, it's not easy for any player to play one system in a national team and then play another in a club system. Taking
Hey,
consideration when different coaches play different
hey,
systems.
Frano. No one hear that, brother.
He's saying
Again,
that's why you have to give props to people like Ronaldo, who has played both club and country on a high level.
Frano. You think of Ronaldo alone, there's been a lot of persons who have played football at high level. Listen me. And you can say anything on the one. You see, when you're getting paid X amount of money to millions and millions of dollars to do the damn job, you go out there and do your job. I don't want to hear, this international system over here, I have to come back to this club system. I don't want to hear that.
They're
Leave that to
professionals, eh?
uh, leave that to some other little ticky players. These rich Englishmen and these rich Belgians and all these. I don't want to hear no excuse for them about different systems. Figure it out. They get paid millions. You think sheikhs can get some work to do, and sheikhs, oh well, I used to work on this patient this way. Oh, I can't. This patient is different. I don't know what to do. No, he's getting paid the big bucks. Figure it out. Am I lying, shakes? You have to figure it out. Figure it out. That's just how I see it. Figure it out.
Here's Nemo saying that he's giving a 9 to Silva. Dale Francis saying 8.5. The City man, Adrian saying he's giving him a 8. Michelle says that he's giving him a 9. And that's about it. And another coach that also improve average players very well is also Bob Paisley and Bill Shankly to an extent because those guys had some average players and it's history teach me about these guys because I never saw them in live action, so I read back about them and things like that. So yeah, I know all of them. But move on. Next player, Raji. What would you give him, Kims?
Roger. Roger. That's the boy. Roger going up against some stiff competition out there. But I am, I am Jamaica's honesty broker. I am the lenient teacher. Roger, right now for me, I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7 because even right now, I don't. When I'm looking at Roger and I'm looking at, for example, a Fernandino, I'm saying is Roger that much at a higher level than Fernandino in old age now? I have to be thinking hard to say I can't definitively say Roger is definitely better. Obviously, I think the way how he plays the football and play out the football and dribble the football, I think he's better in that sense. But you know, for the other roles that he played, I'd have to give him a 7 for me. 7 for Roger.
All right, Shakes.
So yeah, for me, he gets the ball ticking, right? So that's important. He basically does his work. I Kim's actually brought up the name Fernandinho, right? I don't necessarily think that he has had that sort of impact at the club in comparison to Fernandinho. However, I would definitely give him a 7 based on his consistent level of play for the
That is
role
allowed
that he
as well.
plays. Yeah.
All right, and then we're going to move to Kevin De Bruyne. Anyone of you can take it on.
Um, man, Kevin De Bruyne, I'll give him a 9.4 for Kevin
Wow.
De Bruyne. 9.4. Why? Listen, and one of the reasons why he doesn't even get higher for me is because of his recent injury history. I think for me,
Just rate this guy very highly.
availability is the best ability for me, right? And I don't think he has been available enough. But listen, when this man is available out there, man, I'm playing that football. You're watching poetry in motion. Is a thing of absolute beauty. And when I said, remember what I said before about wanting your defenders to fear. You don't want the defenders to be feared. When Kevin De Bruyne is dribbling that ball to you, those defenders are shaking in their knees. Those defenders are weary about what he's going to do. He has a shot. He can pass a football. He has a high IQ in football. He has everything that you need as a footballer. The only thing I probably want him to do is to probably, head the ball a little bit better. Because I like my footballers all around. I want him to do everything. Use 2 foot, head the ball at a high level, high IQ, all of that. So the only thing I think that would be it for me. But this man, free kick, corners, getting players involved, make teammates better, make the team better, keep the football ticking, you know, switch the play from right to store. Everything that he has, he does it well. International club. So for me, I'll give him a 9.4 for me, Kevin De Bruyne.
Okay, Shakes.
Strange grading system by Kims. First, if availability is the best thing, then you would have to mark him down, right?
That's
Because
why I'm gonna get 10. That's why I'm gonna
yeah,
get 10.
no, man, I understand that. That's why you took off what you took
Mm-hmm.
off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm going based on availability, listen, right? You have to mark him down for that. Not only that, for me, I've always said it. There's no footballer in the world that can pass a football or get a ball into space or create a chance as well as that man, right? And yeah, I'm a Man U fan and he plays for Man City. And I would love if he was playing for my team, right? Because when you talk about a pass, his range of passing, his vision, it's simple. The man has a brilliant football brain. However, what I don't like about Kevin De Bruyne is that he never shows up in the biggest moments.
Yes, sir.
Go through the history, right? He has been always absent. Why is it he can't just come to the fore like he does week in, week out when he's playing in quote unquote lesser games? Why is it when the trophy is there to be won? So in a knockout game, I've never seen Kevin. And that is the only mark that I've ever had against him, Everything else, he's a sublime footballer, right? But when it comes on to the high stakes, sorry, I have to mark him down. And as Kem said, yeah, availability. And he has not been available for basically the past 2 seasons, really. He's really been in and out of the team. Yeah, he's dealing with injuries, right? When you play from so young, different injuries, ankle injuries, hamstring injuries, it takes a toll, right? We can understand that. He does a lot of running, right? As we say, he's an intelligent footballer. So for me, I can't give him more than an 8.
I agree. And as you mentioned, Shakes, that is something I have to mark him down for because it's based on how we rate this guy. We see him as top of the top. We see him right up
Yep.
there with the rest of world class players. So you want players like this to take a whole game, just like he did against Chelsea the other day when City needed that win, and he just took the ball and said that, hey, I'm going to make it happen right here. And he was the one that was on show for it to happen. So this is what I want to see him do in games where it matters most for City. Champions League final, I wanted to see him. Yes, he got hurt, I believe. So but otherwise than that, he was playing, but he never did much. So I want
Yep.
him to
He
step
was
up in those.
non-existent.
Yes, I need him to step up in those moments and show that yes, I am the man. So here's Adrian saying that KDB 8.5, but in recent Belgium performance now make him get a 10 from me. Chanel is saying that KDB 8, he wasn't available most of the time.
That girl named Shani, don't know nothing about football.
Stop,
Tell her to read
stop,
a
stop
book.
hating on, stop hating on the females, bro. Yes, Dale Francis saying that hate for Kevin. Still think Silva currently has a hedge. I'll agree with that. Michelle is saying that
Watch
he's
a
give,
big
she's giving
comment, Michelle.
the bride
Oh,
a 9.
no, no, it's good.
Now we're going to look forward and look at the forward line. Riyad Mahrez. What sort of grade are we giving him, Shakes?
I'll just give him a quick grade of 7. I think many persons like myself would have expected more coming from Leicester. So in terms of from then up until now, and even with this season, I just think that he has been a
Wonderful.
very good, decent footballer, if there's such a term, right? A very
Hasn't
good,
been
decent footballer, but not more than that. So I can't give him more than a 7. It's as simple as that.
okay. Um,
Ah, for
shoot,
me,
shoot.
quickly, Maris, I'll definitely give him an 8. I think for me, I definitely think that the level has been raised from when he was at Leicester. Obviously, I think in being in Leicester team, Leicester level is way lower, so it will seem as if he was quote unquote better at Leicester. But I think he's definitely better. I remember when he was just coming to Man City, a lot of persons. I don't know about Shakes and them because I never know Shakes and them at that time, but a lot of persons on Facebook in that same Facebook group was saying, why this man gonna come to Man City? Him gonna done him career, where am I gonna get game? Him gonna ride off the bench and all them things. And he has come in and obviously what I would want from Mahrez, I want some more consistency. It's one game and play good, you don't see another good game until 7, 8 games down the line. And then, it's a lot of inconsistency. Obviously we know he's a man, left foot very deadly. And we know that he can dribble and he can take on him player, you know. And so, but also I think for him, I think he's also a little bit slight as well. I think when there's somebody rough tackling him, I think that affects his game a whole lot. And and he gets a little bit timid and so. But for the goals and for the assists and for the playmaking, I'll give him an 8.
Bro, whenever you get your doctor's certificate, I really want to be a student of yours because I know that you're lenient and you give me some pass mark because the man is inconsistent and you give him a hate. I mean, personally for me, I wanted this guy at Man United. I wanted him over Alexis Sanchez because that was the toss up at the time. But Mourinho, for some reason, went for Alexis Sanchez over Mahrez, and he had the first chance on him. But for me personally, I personally don't think he has improved much from Leicester to City. Based
No,
on what I
he
saw
hasn't.
at Leicester, I wanted to see him to step up way better under a better coach. So
Correct.
yeah, I'll give him a 7. 7 is the highest
Strange
I can.
grading system by Kems on that one, but we'll forgive him because he has the cold.
Yep. But here's Dimo saying that man has such a sick first touch, kill the ball dead, but he's just so inconsistent. 7.5. Yeah, man, that man first touch is like Marcelo when Marcelo control a football.
Uh,
Dead.
Levon, let me just add this quickly. Based on where Riyad Mahrez was at Leicester City and where Mo Salah was while he was going to Roma and
Mhm.
playing his first season at Roma, what's the big difference? Why is it that Mo Salah has gone leaps and bounds, and here we are talking about Riyad Mahrez being inconsistent?
Yep.
I just think Mo Salah is just a much better footballer. I think Mo Salah's ceiling was always higher than Mahrez's ceiling. That's just me personally. I just thought Mo
I
Salah's
disagree.
ceiling was always that higher.
You
That's just
can't
me.
say that. No, man, you can't say that, Kems, because at the time, you said that you even disagreed with the persons on Facebook who were talking about Riyad Mahrez.
No,
So,
yeah,
so
they were talking about him
it
saying he's
means
going to.
no. You made reference to when before you knew Levan and myself, as in when you were talking about Riyad Mahrez on the Facebook page. You
Absolutely.
obviously rated him highly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm saying if you rated him highly back then, right? Back
Mm-hmm.
then you wouldn't have rated Mo Salah highly.
Let me draw a parallel in another sport. Let's say, Lamelo Ball, right? Lamelo Ball, basketball player. You know him?
Of course.
All right. And Anthony Edwards from the Minnesota Timberwolves, right?
Correct.
All right.
Dunk
For
God.
me,
And one is a pass God.
all right. So for me, right now, for me, I rate more. But I believe that Anthony Edwards' ceiling is much higher than Lamelo. I don't know if I don't. Now hear me or
I
no? Let me
Yeah,
know.
I
disagree.
mean,
I disagree. I disagree with that.
I disagree as well.
Okay.
I
I
disagree
disagree.
with that.
But
All right.
I think at that point in time, though, Kim's Mahrez had a higher ceiling than Mohamed Salah
Yep.
because Mohamed Salah was just down there in Fiorentina doing his thing, but never really expected much of him. And even when he
Yep.
was at Chelsea, nothing was really expected of him. But
Listen, Levon, lastly,
mhm.
Kante and Mahrez, right? People were always saying, oh, it's between one of the two, right? And Kante went on to higher heights. But I
Yep,
don't know if I would say the same about Mahrez. So
facts,
for me, his potential would not have been fulfilled.
facts. And here's agent saying that technical wise, Salah isn't better than Mahrez, just a better goal scorer. The next player
Correct.
is Phil Foden.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of grade will you give him, Kims?
Oh God, this is boy genius, man. Phil Foden for me, um, I give him an 8.5. For me, I think he's once again, I think he's a bit timid. I think he's a bit timid. I think if you rough him up a little bit, that can get him off his game.
True.
But again, this is a guy we're talking about ceiling. This guy's ceiling,
Oh, true.
I think is through the roof. And I think a lot of persons were saying that he should have left City because he never get no game. Look how much stars they where am I go fit in, and I think he has fit in seamlessly. In City, obviously, I think he still has a lot to learn, and I think he's learning on the fly. So I'll give him an 8.5.
I personally, for me, I just have one thing against Pep when it comes down to Foden. I need him to figure out what position this man best plays in because up top is not where this man should be. This man should be dictating the play just like David Silva did because, as you said, Kims, when I see this man on the football, this man is poetry. And this is what I love
Mm-hmm.
about him, man. So Phil Foden's ceiling is very high. What say you, Shakes?
Yeah, I definitely agree. When you can slow down a game, it means that you're in control of what you're doing. He has a high IQ, especially for a youngster. So if I'm going to give somebody a very, very high grade, it has to be Phil Foden. He is one, young, right? Two, he has broken into that team and been a consistent performer at that age. Not many people can do that. If it probably because it's a pep team, why people don't even rate Phil Foden even higher because they're going to say, oh, it is the system.
Mm-hmm.
However, many other youngsters left Man City
Yep.
since Pep has been there. He remained and he has excelled. So it must mean that he has the right mentality, and it means that he has a high football IQ. So for me, I'm going to give him a 9 to 9.5.
I'll give him a solid 9. I love this football. And the final one in the City lineup is the Jamaican born man, Raheem Sterling. Kems, I know that you rate this man highly.
Yep.
Sterling is top of your list when it comes on to footballers
Ab-
out there. So
Absolutely.
if
Absolutely.
I hear you give Mars 8, I hear you give De Bruyne a 9.4, I hear you
10.
give 9.3s. I think this one will probably be a
10,
10.100.
man. 10.
You
Hey, check me out, man. If you know anything about me and football, any kind of sports person in the
story.
world, yeah, the story for me always get me. The story, because I believe when all right, you see if you go prep school and you grow up rich and then you come and become a footballer, that don't impress me. I want the person with in at the nitty gritty, and I've listened to Raheem Sterling's story many times. Mommy have to do this, mom have to do that, and him have to go through and is a player will never ever forget where he come from. Always I give back to his community, and I just absolutely love that. But for me, obviously, this man, as I said before, won the most penalties in Premier League history. That is something to be talked about. Obviously, at the start of the season, he never started out really hot. There were things about, oh, you want to try out another league, go to Barcelona, go to Real Madrid. Yeah, anyway, I'll go to Barcelona, try a different league, whatever the case may be. And what he did, he worked on his game. When he got his opportunity, he proved himself. And obviously that hat trick that he scored, man, can never forget that. One of the perfect hat tricks. So right now for me, Raheem Sterling for me, I would give him number one. I will give him a 9.8 for me. And
7.
Where's the
why
two?
he doesn't why he doesn't get let me tell you why I'm doing your point two. I still think in the final third, I think he needs to be better. And I think his decision making, while it has improved, it needs to be better as well. I think when he has to make a split decision, sometime him get confused. Him don't know if he want to shoot, if he want to pass. So I think those little things need to improve.
Big up myself, friend. Let's see. Respect for the support, brother, as always. Shakes. Now, this footballer, this is what someone that has been always ostracized, criticized, and all the sides that you can possibly find. So even with all that, the man has still excelled. What sort of grade would you give for Raheem Sterling?
Aldan saying that he hopes I don't call Sterling a waste man. Interesting, right? But guess what? I've never really called Sterling a waste man. I've always called him wasteful, right? And if he had tuned into the show earlier when you were mentioning Sterling, the
Mhm.
red flag. So you see the same way Kevin De Bruyne has never shown up in the big game when they need to win the trophy. Sterling has always missed the key goal or goals to either level the tie, win the tie, right? When it comes on to the knockout stage of the Champions League.
Facts.
And if you are going to grade the man based on the highest club competition, you're going to have to take off marks for that, right? So there's no way you're gonna say he's a waste man because that's not true. I did mention that he has been consistent, right?
Mm.
And I also mentioned that if he were a white man, he would get more praise. If he were an English white man, not a Jamaican white man, right? An English white man, he would get more praise. All the media outlets, all that would happen is that they would just go silent when it come on to when he misses those goals, right? Because just think about Hurricane right now. You realize how the media not really pressuring Hurricane.
Facts.
They have just left the Tottenham team alone, basically. It's only the voice here cussing Antonio Conte week after week, right? But I don't see him pressuring Hurricane. So he's just like the media, just the same, right? But anyway, yes.
But he's a part of the
Sterling,
media.
yeah, exactly. That's why he's the voice, right? So yeah, Sterling for me, the same thing like I did for De Bruyne. We took off marks. The same thing I'm gonna do for Sterling, take off some marks, but based on where his headspace was earlier in the season to where he is now, I have to give him an 8.5.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give him around the same 8.5
Yep.
there. But here's Demo saying that Sterling Tate misses a lot of chances and cost City some games this season. Wasn't starting for a while and talks about him leaving for playing time, but good season so far. Facts.
Yep.
We're going to move on to the next game, and that's PSG against Man City. And I'm going to start with the man that says that PSG will bring home this Champions League this year. One of his favorite footballer, Lionel Messi, had a penalty saved, but the man for the moment, the man who people is calling clutch, and you have to give
Manibala.
him this multiple times this season. He has popped up when it matters most in late at the time to get the winner for PSG. Just the other day they were playing against the team is currently slipping. Oh yeah, Renard. They were playing Renard the other day, and he popped up with a late at the time winner. So here he was once again with a 94th minute winner. So Kims, I think about PSG and Kylian Mbappe.
So, all right. So that penalty, right? And I think sometimes I think a lot of persons always say our script is already written, right? So we just go through life, it is already written in stone because how ironic can it be that Messi miss a penalty 1 minute later Ronaldo score? Like when those things happen, you just have to you have to really scratch it and wonder how is this even possible? But I think a lot of persons say Messi miss penalty. Listen, everybody miss penalty. I see Salah miss a penalty this season. I see Mane miss a penalty in the final of the Afghan. I see Ronaldo miss a penalty against Middlesbrough and United. Like everybody miss penalty. So, but I guess yes, we have to troll. Everybody have to be funny. Everybody want to be a character and all of that stuff, right? But um, I think Messi was probably the happiest guy when Mbappe scored. Because I think if the game had ended nil, I think he would have been beating up himself. And I think it was a great save by Courtois. And let's be honest, Courtois played against Messi many times, when Messi was in Barcelona. I think that man know, or at least made the intelligent guess, all right, Messi has went over this side a lot of times. This is the side I'm going. And penalty is never 70-30, 80-20. For me, penalty is always 50-50. The keeper can save it, a great of a chance to save it, especially Courtois. It's a Courtois and what the next one named Donnarumma, whatever one. You see
Donnarumma.
those them big presence, them big when Courtois comes so I don't know where you believe you can keep that penalty. That man just comes so and start waving man, so you start get. But again, nothing taken away from Courtois. I think it was a great save. All right, Mbappe now. Listen, let me tell you, I have no problems with Mbappe. I have a problem with persons calling this clutch. I have a problem with clutch, and I think we need to have a definition for clutch. Clutch cannot be okay and score in the 90 plus minute, and then because guess what happened now, Levon? You see when you do something clutch, it's supposed to move you to another level. So you tell me same clutch against Renard, they got 3 points from that. Really and truly, PSG got nothing from this. All them get is a 1-0 victory. If they go to Spain and Real Madrid beat them 2-0, guess what? They're out of the competition. OUT out. So for me, when I talk about clutch, right? When you talk about clutch, you see Kyrie shot in that finals against Golden State, clutch, because that was the game winner. Clutch. But for me, the degree of difficulty, I
So
look at
Kims,
it.
what you're implying? You're implying that clutch for you is when something is really at stake, rather than in this
Yes.
game
So
in this game per se. All right. Ended nil all. PSG don't lose anything. Go to Real Madrid. If they beat Real Madrid, they're still through because you know that
still,
away goals is our
exactly.
problem. So,
Yep. Yep. Let me show you. Just like in basketball, if the game is tied, and you will shoot a 3-pointer and you make it, or you shoot a 2-pointer, I don't think that is clutch. I don't think that is clutch because if you miss the shot, you are going to overtime. You
mhm.
understand me? But if you are down one now, you are down one, and you know, say you must make this basket, or else you lose. That is clutch for me.
Mhm.
So everybody have their own like a definition of clutch, but that is my definition. So it was a great play by Mbappe. He is a world class player. He is one of the best players in the world. But I just don't think.
All right, yes, Adam saying that Kim need the medicine, bro. He's also saying that a bag of nonsense you a chat. And yes,
That's all
Adrian,
right.
yes, Adrian saying that this is a man that the animal's always been at odds, but here is he is tonight agreeing with you saying that clutch is when you show up in high pressure games. Agreeing to an extent. And here's Michelle saying that Kim scoring at the death is a definition of
No,
clutch. Stop the
no,
foolishness.
no, Michelle, let me tell you. Again, if anybody else want to call it clutch, I'm not going to fight with them, I'm not going to argue with them. But
Mm.
again, my definition of clutch, you see, if this was the second leg and you score this and now you move on to the next round, clutch. But again, you score this and then you still have to come and play well against Real Madrid in Spain, or else you're in trouble. So for me, I think,
But all right,
clutch.
let's be honest though.
Mhm.
The performance that he had today, wouldn't you say that he was the best player on show today?
I would. I would say he's the best player. I just said great player. I think he was the best player today. I think he gave Real Madrid fits. Even boy, I'd love go easy, but and I think Carlo. I think Carlo came out, and I think he was kind of swindling them. When somebody outplay you, but no, you want to sweep them up. You want to sweep them up to come play for you. He was like, man, Mbappe was great. He was great, and I'm paraphrasing. He was great. He was everywhere on the field. No, we couldn't stop him. We tried to put this guy on him, and he was still defying all the odds. Blah blah blah. Obviously, we know him want him over there in Real Madrid, but Mbappe was good, and I think the goal for him was fitting because I think that was the only thing that was missing from his game. So it was good that he scored.
But all right, the question I want to ask you is that with
Mm-hmm.
Real Madrid, right?
Mm.
You will realize that they were basically playing for a draw.
Yep.
Real
Yep.
Madrid play a negative
Yep.
sort of football, a football that
Yep.
you never really expected them to play. But
Mm-hmm.
would you say that Ancelotti went out there with the wrong frame of mind? Because I mean, they haven't been playing well over the past couple of weeks. But would you say
That,
that he
that's
went out
what
there with that mindset?
That's what I was about to say because obviously, I believe it is. I'm not a Real Madrid fan, so I don't really watch Real Madrid like that unless it's a derby game or one of those big games. But it has been said that you know Benzema is the engine of this team, right? So Benzema was out, but he came back today. But obviously, he just came back. I didn't think he looked like quote unquote Benzema, but I don't think anybody at Real Madrid really looked like Real Madrid. So I don't think they started out the game saying that okay, we are going to go out for a draw. But I think as the game progressed and they saw the dominance of PSG, I think Ancelotti was like, I don't think we're the better team today. We haven't been playing good for a long time. Might as well we just get a draw. Go because remember, there's no more away goal rules. There's no more away goal rules. So it's not like PSG can go there and score one and then after the score. It's just whatever the scoreline is on the day. If the game at end Milan, whatever the scoreline is on the day, whoever win on the day, then they win. So I think after a while, Ancelotti was like, hey, we're not the better team today. We are away. Let us just run away with a draw. Let us just take a draw, take a Victoria's Secret bag and go back to Spain. And when we reach over there, then we'll try and play some quality football and see if we can get a win. But Mbappe had other plans for sure.
Okay, so Shakes, now over to you because here is Adam saying that scrapping the away goals rule will not be good for UCL knockout phase. What's your take on that?
Um, so guess what? It can go both ways. I don't have a problem with it because people can look on it and say that boy, we have had some unfair go homes, right? Because it's multiple teams that end up going home season after season based on the away goals rule. In a sense, I think that the game was very cagey today. If you look on it from the away goals rule perspective, why? Because Kent is right, and South Africa kind of set up the team to play for a draw and then go back to Spain, knowing that that there's no away goals, so they just try to win in Spain after you get the draw there in Paris. So I mean, people can look on it either way, but for me, I do have a problem with it.
So hold on a second. All right. So PSG won the first leg, 1 goal to nil.
Yeah,
So let's say they go to Spain and then Real Madrid win that leg 1-0. So it's extra time, the penalty after.
correct.
Hmm.
However, remember that in extra time they still had the away goals rule, meaning that if PSG scored
Score.
one
Oh,
and leveled the leg, as in
hmm.
that tie, Real Madrid would then have to score two goals in extra time, which would
Yeah.
not be fair. That is how they look at it, right?
Okay.
It's just the fairness of it. As I'm saying, I don't have a problem with them scrapping it, but if people want to look from it from the other angle, they might say, okay, yeah, it's not going to be exciting because teams are going to take huge.
Exactly, exactly. And I agree with that Kevin Bernard guy. Listen, um, I I think that they're trying to take the fun out of football. And again, if you want to say take it out of extra time, I believe that is what everybody was saying. When it reached extra time, let's take away the away goals rule out of extra time. But I
Yeah,
believe you want, for example, a game like today, I don't think if the away goals rule was in place, I think Real Madrid would have probably approached, especially in the second half, I think
Yep.
they would approach it very differently because they know, all right, hey, let us try and grab a goal, and then it's going to be trouble for them over Spain. You understand what I'm saying? So I think, I don't know if it can be reconsidered. I don't know how these things go. If after a certain amount of
they
time, they
normally
can
do,
say,
they normally do it at the end of the season.
okay,
Yeah, so it can't be
okay.
evaluated until the end of the season as well.
Yeah.
To
So
see
I
the
guess on the,
effectiveness and all of
mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because I think the away goal rule, even though sometimes it work against our own personal teams, I think it put the ball as an edge. Yeah, make
Yep.
you have to go out there. If you have to go out there, you have to defend. You have to go out there. You have to play football. You can't just sit back and just boring just so like what Real Madrid did today. When you look on Real Madrid, they wonder if it's Real Madrid or it's Stoke City. Today, all the way they were just defending, defending, defending. So hopefully they can bring back the away goals rule, but take it out to extra time.
Here's Michelle saying that I like the away goal rule. Incentive to go for it and not be cagey. And here's Adlam saying that if both teams end 1-1 after both legs, scrap away goal and start again. If the game at hold on, go again. Both teams end 1-1 after both legs, scrap away goal and start again. If the game end in a tie after extra time, then pin. Okay.
Yeah.
But now going to move on to the final thing that we'll probably discuss tonight, and that's that red team from Manchester getting a 2-0 victory over Brighton. Ken said he expected a nil draw. I said that it would have been a goal scoring draw, but it wasn't to be. They finally won a game. And I'm going to start with Shakes because Aranda O'Connor asked this question from way, way, way up in the comment section. So the guy that scored the first goal, Shakes, he said what do you think about him.
Yeah. So while Ken was talking about my player Mbappe, he caused my phone to overheat. So that's why I had to switch my device, right? That was the nonsense that he was talking about Kylian Mbappe, because Kylian Mbappe literally ran that show in the match, right? He was the only one with quality. But anyway, guess what? It's the same thing when it comes on to CR7, because they ask about CR7. When you have quality, you have to, as in, it doesn't matter what kind of path you're going through. If you have quality, it will come to the fore, right? People need to understand that. You see, Ronaldo at 37, yes, he was 37 on February 5th. Most persons who are 37 are not starting week in, week out in a team. They are on the substitute bench, right? Or they are either in the MLS, or they are over in Japan, Qatar, Africa, all them places, right? They are not playing in the highest league in the world, right? So you have to think about that. Um, the team on a whole, I've always said it. If you recruit bad players, you're going to recruit nonsense. And if you recruit nonsense, you can't expect good gameplay, right? So at Manchester United, we have recruited poorly. So yes, some people might say Ronaldo is a problem, but for me, he's been take out the hair out of it. Tell me somebody that has performed better than CR7 this season. Tell me. Anybody can answer in the comment section, right? But tell me somebody that has performed better than Ronaldo. Apart from when you can say, okay, he went 6 games without scoring. That's the only thing that you can really say, you know. But you can't tell me that a man that pop up with goals. Because goals with matches. You are telling me that, okay, you rather a man run up and down on a field and don't create no chance? Okay, so he
Listen.
has what? Industry. But guess what? Jesse Lingard had a lot of that. Where is he? No improvement. Ronaldo for me has to play. Always has to play. That goal that he scored today was to remind all the haters, all the critics, all of the younger people in the world that think that the man is finished, right? Because you have a man in the Farmers League who is younger and playing less intense football, right? And still ain't doing better than him. We have persons in our team, who are younger, who should be entering the prime of their careers, right? And they are poor. Some of them have been playing in the Premier League for 5, 6, 7 years now, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't see where they are setting the world alight, right? So this narrative where people go and get up and complain about CR7, sorry, it is just unwarranted.
It's
For
not.
me, for
I'm not.
me,
I'm not going to just sit here
no,
shakes and
hold
little
on.
bit.
For me, at 37, Levon, at 37, you see, a lot of people grade Messi and Ronaldo based on their previous standards, right? However, if you look at all the other, not necessarily the world's greatest, right? But top forwards of all time, what were they doing at 37? What were they doing at
Shakes.
35?
I'm going to counter your argument easily.
Yeah,
It's when you mention Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. Both these guys are a freak of nature, so you can't compare them to regular human beings. These two guys are just
I know
totally
that.
out of the world. Another one that you could add into the mixer is Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yeah.
These guys, they take care of the body, so they still maintain it at a high level. The thing with Cristiano now, Shakes, is that opportunities has been created for him. People
Mm-hmm.
were basically arguing that he wasn't getting any chances in which that is false because he has gotten chances, just that he has bushed them. He has done so in the last couple of games. He has done so multiple times. As I pointed out on the podcast last night, the game against that they drew on the weekend, he got a chance that
Against
all Cristiano
Southampton.
had to do was just kick the ball harder and it would have scored. Thing that I'm bringing across now, Shakes, is that I want people to stop push the narrative that he hasn't been getting the service because he has got the service. He has gotten it, right?
It has improved in the last few games. That is the only thing I will agree with you. It has improved the last few games.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not say for the entire time that he's been
No, no, no,
there,
no,
there
no.
has
I'm
been
not saying the entire
improvement.
time enough, but they're still pushing the narrative from the past 5, 6 games because he has, as I mentioned to you backstage in your shades, over the last 4 to 5 games, Manchester United has created over close to 100
A
chances.
hundred, yes. And I didn't disagree with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you see, you say that, you know. But as I said, tell me somebody that is performing better than him outside of the here consistently in that team.
Over the last 5 games,
Yeah,
I can I can give
over
you
the
one over
last
the last 5 games.
over the last 5 to 10 games.
Sancho.
Sancho.
If I have to give you one over the last 5 games, Sancho is
All
the one.
right. How many goals does he have?
Two.
Thank you. All right.
How much Cristiano have? One.
One.
Okay, so isn't he performing better? What's created the opportunities for Cristiano?
But hold on. Do you know that based on age?
Yeah,
and
but
and
Shakes,
how
what
and
position does CR7 play?
hold on, and how highly you guys rate Sancho. You know that he's supposed to be outperforming Ronaldo.
Yeah, he's
Thank
supposed to
you.
be, but he is.
I wouldn't really say he is
Come on,
Yes.
bro.
outperforming Ronaldo because
Ronaldo,
for me, Sancho is still underperforming at that club.
He hasn't hit the heights that we would want him to see. But Sancho,
Exactly,
but listen,
which
listen
is
again,
underperforming. He
listen
has
again, no Shakes,
improved
Shakes,
since he
listen,
has arrived, but he's
listen,
still
Shakes.
underperforming.
Over the past 5 games,
Hmm.
outside of David De Gea,
Yeah,
Jadon Sancho has been Man United's best player.
yeah, but
Can't,
being Manchester United's best player, though, you're not gonna get dragged off after 70 odd minutes. Sorry,
come on, Shakes, do better than that.
do better than that.
Do
Come
better
on.
than that, Shakes. What are you talking
Listen,
about?
I won't disagree with you. He has improved, but guess what? He is still underperforming to where the level that we would like Jadon Sancho to be.
Just like
Ronaldo, but
just like
Ronaldo too.
Cristiano.
Just like
Exactly,
Ronaldo
Kings.
too.
That's what
No,
I'm going to
Just like
defend.
no,
Ronaldo.
no. You know why for me Ronaldo not underperforming? Because he's 37.
Shake,
Yeah,
stop
that.
using that age
Me no
barrier, brother.
want,
This was
yeah,
a
me no
freak
want
of
hear that.
nature. Stop using
And
that.
listen, all right, listen, Shakes, let us put things into its proper context, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you say he's 37. The
Yeah.
chances that Ronaldo have been getting, if you're 97, you score them. The,
Facts.
if you're not, so let us not act like say he's not
I
getting
disagree with
opportunity.
that. You know why? Because it's simple. Let me take your big baller from Man City, Raheem Sterling. You spoke about it. He misses some easy chances. Come on.
Yeah, but not like them one where Ronaldo get
If,
them.
Shakes,
if, if,
shakes.
all right,
Again,
let me
shakes.
ask
You're
you a
comparing
simple
Raheem Sterling
question.
versus a freak of
Let me ask
nature.
you
Stop
this simple
comparing Sterling to a
question, big
freak of
guy.
nature.
Let me ask you this simple question. If Ronaldo had ended up at Man City, how many goals do you think he would
Say it
have
again,
right
Adlam. Say it
right
again,
now?
Adlam. This is what we're saying, Adlam. Adlam saying that rubbish. Stop use age when it's convenient,
Of
boss.
course.
Don't use age.
You
No,
know
no,
why
no.
you know,
So hold on,
if
so
you
hold on, so hold on. The question that I'm asking now, at
Hmm.
36, 37 in the season, right? Because he turned that during the season.
Mhm.
If he had gone to Man City, do you believe that he would be leading the EPL goal scoring charts right now?
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
That's why you're building a case for our argument.
No, I'm not.
You are. Because
No,
if listen, listen,
I
listen.
am building the case that if you are playing with better players, you're going to have better output.
But
You're going to have
again,
better
listen.
production.
Again, Shakes, listen. Over the past 5 to 6 games, a lot of chances has been created for this man. And he has missed them. That is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and and,
As,
and,
as,
and,
as it
and,
relates
and
as
it's
it relates
fair,
to me.
Levon, to miss some of them. Yeah, it's fair.
Alright, listen, Shakes. It's from a personal standpoint. If I was in charge of Man United, I would
Mhm.
have given a chance to Charlie McNeil and Joe Ugle. Those are the ones
Come
I would have
on,
used
man.
because at the end
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
day,
sure. He
no,
can
no,
take
no.
Rashford's spot. He can take Rashford's spot. No problem.
Listen. Why I say this. If Cristiano is going to be there, I want him to run him ragged. Come season, leave. If you want to, just go ahead and leave because at the end of the day, the other forwards are not performing either. So I personally am not saying that he shouldn't start, but all I would say is that you can't start him every game. Why? I'm going to use back your own argument. Age. He's 37.
Yeah, and that's fair, right? And that's fair. But he has to start at least 75 to 80% of the
And
games.
here's Elton kicking argument again, and this bill argument that Kems is always mentioning. Ronaldo is the highest paid player at United. Age argument weak. Not briefly,
man,
I'm my baller. You're paid to do the job, so do the
But
job
but,
that you're
but, but,
paid to
but
do.
hold on, but Levon, but if he were younger, right? If he were younger, all right, a younger Ronaldo playing with these nincompoops at the club, he would just score goals regardless of the nincompoops he's playing with, right?
Mm.
However, because he's older and he's trying to conserve, right, to last the entire season in the high intensity Premier League that you guys always talk about, he's not going to score as often. That's what I'm
well,
saying. Put him in that Man City team where he ends up doing less work and just doing what he's doing on the field now, where a ton load of chances come. Oh God, the man would have gone 20 odd goals already.
We agree to disagree. All I'll say is
You,
that.
yeah.
Go ahead, James.
No, I was saying that me agree to disagree because for every argument with Shakes make we can debunk it. For every argument
Yep,
we make, Shakes can debunk. So just agree to disagree.
yep. But finally they got a win after how long? I can't even recall when last they won a game.
Quite
So yeah,
some time.
they got a W. And again, I want to beat up that footballer that wears the number 18. The only reason why I keep that jersey is because I'm not going to waste my money, but I want to beat him because that man has been playing some senseless, rubbish football. And finally, at the end, he decided that he was going to score one, and he did so. But I mean, before that, he could have scored like five, six, seven. Over the past 5, 6 games, he could have scored at least 10 goals. I mean, yes, his stats is impressive, but had this man kept it simple, we couldn't argue
Yeah.
about this man being.
Them man they don't fear talk about such men, right?
I'm beating every one of them.
Such man you're supposed
Everybody
to
again.
talk about.
Nobody not escape the
And
beating
for
stick.
those who don't know who Levon is talking, his name is Bruno F.
But yeah, they got a W and they're now what fourth in the table, 4 points behind Chelsea, even though they have played a game more. But let's see how they go on from here. As I said, Man United can do whatever they want to do. Matters to me not. I'm a Newcastle fan. But I'm going to just go to you two guys and get you guys in with a minute to talk about whatever the topic that you want to touch on. So Kem, so I'm gonna start with you.
Um, Finally we had a James Harden press conference, and you know, and basically he was just saying everything that we already knew. He said that going to Philadelphia was his first choice, but it just didn't work out when the thing happened from Houston. And he wanted to be in Philadelphia, obviously because he knows the president of basketball operations and also the president, of the Philadelphia 76ers, because they were both coming from Houston to go to Philadelphia. And he believes that the structure of Philadelphia is much more serious than in Brooklyn. Obviously, it is, because Brooklyn came out, just for full disclosure, for persons who is not really in tune with the Kyrie Irving situation. Brooklyn came out, Sean Marks, the GM, Steve Nash, oh, Kyrie will never play for us until he gets vaccinated. And as soon as Brooklyn reach into a little trouble, oh, all right, Kyrie, come back, come back. He can play some away games, destroying the chemistry of the team. James Harden is 32. He wants to win a championship. He knows that window is very small, and he knows he has come very small as well. So he has withdrew from the All-Star game. I think he's carrying a little feelings because he was picked last and all the shenanigans around it. So he has withdrew. So now they have Jared Allen in the All-Star game. I'm not sure if Zach LaVine or Ja Morant going to play, because Zach LaVine has just went to see a foot specialist because his foot is giving him issues, and obviously Ja Morant got injured the other day. So there's a lot of things going on in the basketball world. Guys, the track and field world is heating up. Big Camperdown Classics just passed by. That guy from Edwin Allen can't pronounce the name well. Me personally, I think that guy should be out of high school.
Oh, Brandon
I
Lever.
don't want. Yes, I don't want to
I
see
don't
these
like seeing
guys.
it.
I don't like see these guys running against people who them already know them as a beat. Like, you see, we saw Chris Taylor do it, and then now got hurt, and now he has to start all the way over and I try to get back good. I don't want you running against Ezekiel. But again, this is just me talking. Probably if it was me and I wanted to win a champs gold medal, because not sweet like champs, but probably, I would want to win a gold medal if I was that talented. So, that's my name.
Okay, Shakes, your minute.
Yeah, let me run my minute. You see? You see how people unfair? So I literally went and did the research for big chances missed in the season thus far, right? Mo Salah, top of the list, 13. Sadio Mane, who has less goals than CR7 in the Premier League, also has more big chances missed in 12. The only old man that I see in this list go all the way down to 15. You know is who? CR7.
Shakes, I'm in a business about that you're telling about money and all those fella. Money can't match up to Cristiano. That's what I'm getting at. That over the past games, the chances are being created. Don't tell me foolishness.
Levon,
You know that
Levon,
you,
Levon.
And some of these
Levon,
fans in the comment section want me to get off.
Levon,
You don't do
Levon,
it.
you are telling me that Cristiano Ronaldo is a better footballer than Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane
I
right
said
now?
Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane isn't a football. Come on, what has Sadio Mane done?
So you are telling
Shakes,
me
don't
that
go there.
Ronaldo is a better footballer than Mane
Shakes,
right now?
Shakes, don't go there. Shakes.
Come
Sadio Mane
on,
hasn't been
man.
setting the world alight, fam. He hasn't been doing that.
Yo, y'all are strange.
He hasn't been doing that. And
You're telling me that CR7 performing better than Diogo Jota in the Premier League?
what I'm getting at, Shakes, that you fail to comprehend. Yes, you can say Liverpool create a plethora of arguments in regards to for those players over the past 6 games, and I keep on putting it for the past 6 games. They said that opportunities weren't created for him. Yes, I agree with that. But over the past 5 to 6 games, he has gotten plenty of opportunities. And since as you have been doing the research
Yeah.
how much chances he has,
Look,
big
look, look,
chances he
look
has
at
missed over
look,
the
look
last
at
five
look
to
at
six
look at the
games.
big baller. Look at the big baller. The same thing, that I said. As I said, I spoke about Hurricane earlier. That the media has left Hurricane alone. Right? Hurricane has 5 goals this season. He has missed the same number of big chances as CR7. And there's no way you tell me, Levon, for a man that has won the EPL Golden Boot so often in recent time, he, you're telling me that he must be missing the same number of chances as 37-year-old
And you want me to
CR7?
go back and kill your own argument again with your own argument? You were in the comment section last night. They said that Spurs team is garbage. So since that Spurs team is garbage,
Yes, it's
okay,
garbage,
Hurricane
but
can
he's
miss those chances.
younger. But he's younger, Levon. I just said about Ronaldo that if Ronaldo were in his late 20s, despite playing with them bugs, he would score more because he would be able to do more on his own. So we are not saying that Hurricane is supposed to be taking up the entire Spurs team and winning the league. However, he should have better individual stats for his age and because he's a world class striker. So if Ronaldo were the same age as Kane, come on, when Ronaldo was the same age as Kane, he was scoring ton loads of goals, 50 odd goals per season, 60 odd goals per season.
All I'll
Different
say,
thing now at
all I'll say is
37
that
ball.
all I'll say is that you and I, along with Kims, will agree to disagree. You made your point, and guess what? Whatever you come with, we're going to debunk, and whatever we come with, you're going to debunk. So we're not going to stop. Again,
And for Owen, I did not say CR7 is performing better than Jota. I actually said it the other way around that Jota is actually performing better than CR7, but he's also missing more goals than CR7 or the same. One of the two. I think it's the same. Yeah, 11.
okay, and that says that congrats to John Campbell made a very good century earlier today. I mean, Jamaica Scorpions were awful in their first fixture. They got bowled out for what 141 in 1 innings, but here they are. They're currently what close to 300, I believe, if not over 300 for the last of around 3 or 4 wickets, and they have done well on day one against Barbados. So you have to give them we have to give them a lot of props for what they have done. But ourselves, man, Demo, on a show we'll discuss on the Premier League drafting that we're going to do, man. So it's not a Premier League players of all time. It's going to be of current players since as we have watched a lot of them in this era. So it will be a current Premier League players, not of all time. So yeah, that is something to look forward to, and I know for a fact it will be interesting. So we have that to look forward to. Um, Big up to Kims, big up Shakes, big up producer Josh calling it's possible. And thanks to all the commenters, all who sit behind the screen and don't comment, big up on yourself. Same way. And remember, like the video before you leave. And until tomorrow, enjoy the rest of your night and go and watch some UCL football.